One of the most valuable skills you can develop in life is the ability to read people, not by judging their clothes, not by judging how they look, their job, or how much money they have, not by how confident they sound, but by noticing the small behaviors that most people completely miss. Because people reveal who they are long before they tell you who they are, not through their words, but through their reactions, their habits, and the tiny decisions they make every single day. Today, I'm going to share 7 behaviors that quietly reveal a person's character. Now, these are the behaviors I personally notice and pay attention to whenever I meet someone. And if you start noticing these behaviors too, I can almost guarantee you that you will become much better at reading people. You'll know who to trust, who to be careful around, and who deserves a place in your life. So let's quickly begin. Number one, watch how they react to someone else's success. One of the fastest ways to understand someone's mindset is to watch what happens when another person shares a good news. Now, imagine someone comes up and they share that, hey, I just got promoted, or they're happy sharing about that they have finally bought their first house or maybe their first car. Or someone comes and says, I have completed my first marathon. Now, some people, after hearing this, will immediately become curious and they'll be like, wow, congratulations, amazing. Tell me, how did you do that? While there are others who will immediately change the subject. Oh, that's nothing. I have done something better. Or even I did a marathon. Or even I did that. They will quietly try to reduce the achievement via their words or their body language. Now, does that mean that they're a bad person? Not necessarily, but it often reveals as something very, very deep. That is insecurity. Because secure people don't feel threatened by someone else's success. They're interested because curiosity comes from confidence. Constant comparison often comes from insecurity. So the next time someone shares an achievement, don't just listen to what they are saying. Of course, listen to that as well, but also watch how everyone else reacts to that. It tells you far more than you think. It will reveal the deepest insecurity of people around you. Number two, listen to how they talk about their past. Now, this one is very important. See, everyone in life had difficult experiences, probably a difficult boss, a failed business, a failed relationship, like a relationship which actually didn't work. The problem is not that they had a challenge in their life. The real question is, how do they talk about those experiences in their life? Now, imagine there are two people. The first one, let's name them as A, they talks like this, that my previous manager and I had differences, but I learned a lot from that job. The second one says, my boss was terrible. My office mates were useless. Everyone was against me. That job was useless. Now, maybe some of these things are true, but if every story has only one victim and they're always that victim, rest everyone is a villain in their story, people naturally wonder, will they ever speak about me the same way one day? Because how people describe their past often predicts how they'll speak about people in the future too. So remember this. Number three, do their action match their words? Now, anybody can make promises or make claims, big claims. Very few people build a reputation. Now, someone says that I'll send you the document tonight, and then 3 weeks later, nothing. There might be emergencies, but if that's a repeated action, let's say someone says that we should definitely catch up. Months pass, no message. If it happened just once or twice, that's okay. But if it's a regular pattern, then I believe the trust is not built by big speeches, it is built by consistency. Every promise you keep creates credibility. Every promise you break slowly damages it. So people don't remember what you intended to do, they remember what you actually did. Number four, what do they complain about first? Now, complaints reveal where someone's attention naturally goes. Now, imagine you're standing in a long queue. Now, one person is saying that, oh my God, this is ridiculous, so much of waiting time. While the another person says, at least I have a few minutes to reply to my emails now. Same situation. However, there are different reactions and different mindset. Positive people are usually calm. They have a lot of patience and they don't pretend that life is perfect. They simply refuse to let every inconvenience become their identity. If someone complains about every single thing, eventually they'll complain about everyone. So pay attention to the complainers. Number 5, what's their first response to a problem? Now, whenever something goes wrong, which will eventually, of course, sometimes goes wrong in life, listen to the very first question they ask. Do they immediately ask, who can solve this for me? Or do they ask, what can I do first? So let's say there is a presentation which didn't go well. Now, one employee says, my manager didn't support me at all. While the another one says, I need to prepare differently next time and work on it to make it better. Now, the difference is ownership. Responsible people don't control everything that happens, but they always look for the part which they can control and improve. And that's why they are the ones who keep growing. And rest, just keep complaining. Number 6, do they focus on price or value? Now, this one is my favorite. Whenever people are making a decision, notice what they ask first. How much does it cost? Or how much value will it create? Suppose someone wants to improve their communication skills. Now, one person only asks about what's the cheapest course available to improve my communication skill, while another asks, will this particular skill help me for the next 10 years? They invest, they don't spend. Of course, price matters, but successful people understand something far more important. Price is what you pay, value is what you keep. And that mindset changes everything. It will change the trajectory of your life. The last one, point 7. Watch how they treat people who can't do anything for them. Now, this, in my opinion, is the biggest test of character. How do they speak to the waiter in a restaurant, the receptionist in a hotel, maybe the security guard of their building, the housekeeping staff, the intern who's working under them, the junior who's working under them. Now, anyone can be polite to someone powerful or senior. Real character appears when there's nothing to gain from someone. I've always believed that respect shouldn't depend on someone's designation. It should depend on your values, because the way you trust people who have no influence over your career says everything about who you are. See, the biggest mistake people make is believing character is revealed in big moments. It usually isn't. Character is revealed in very ordinary moments. How someone reacts to another person's success, how they speak about people who are absent, whether they keep their word once given or the promises which they have made, how they respond to the problems or difficult situations, what they complain about, and where they place their attention. And of course, how they treat other people who can offer nothing in return to them. Now, if you begin observing these small behaviors instead of getting impressed by appearances, you'll become far better at reading people. And trust me on this, that's a skill that will help you not only in your career, but even in your friendships, your relationships, and almost every decision you make in your life ahead. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. Which of these 7 behaviors do you think reveals the most about a person's character? I would love to hear your perspective. As for me, all 7 are important. And if you want to become a more confident communicator and build executive presence, don't forget to follow Speak with Power. I am Captain Ritu Kumar Singh. I'm a former Indian Army officer. I'm also a lawyer, and I teach people about communication, confidence. And here on this channel, we don't just work on the outer skills. We work on the person who has to develop those skills. Because if you have the inner power, you will automatically build up the outer power to live with power and speak with power. I'll see you in the next video. Jai Hind. Namaste.